Hey guys, I am Spencer J. Gilbert, the writer of Honest Trailers, and I'm not just here because I'm the only one at ScreenJunkies who's read American Gods or a book. I'm here because we have the star of the show himself, Ricky Whittle, Shadow Moon, in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, mate?
What is that your English?
Yeah,
what's up, mate? Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke has ruined us for all eternity. That is literally every American's go at the British accent.
Yeah.
Hello, you sound like you're from London.
We go full Oliver Twist right off the bat.
Full straight like, please sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, and you can do an American accent. We can't, we don't go that way.
I mean, that's the theory. That's the theory. I think that comes down to just we grew up surrounded by American culture.
Yeah.
You know, growing up as a kid, my favorite shows were always American shows. You know, this is the hub of the industry. This is where all the great things are made. And so we're always surrounded by American shows, whereas you had literally Mary Poppins for your whole lives. That's all you had. You're like, it makes sense. Yeah, British people, they sound like that.
Oi.
And they fly with umbrellas.
Bruv.
You know, and a spoonful of sugar makes medicine go down. You know?
Now we have Guy Ritchie to tell us what it's
And
really
now you have Guy Ritchie to tell us what it's really like, and there's a lot of swear words, and we actually get a little bit grimy. But I'm here to tell you that we're still gentlemen. We still got a little something.
So you're awash in American culture, which made you especially suited for American Gods.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny because it's kind of the one thing that kind of holds you back in this town sometimes is when someone can't pigeonhole you, and you don't get very much more ambiguous than my look. But in the book, Shadow is very ethnically ambiguous, and no one has a clue. And you know, they keep referencing, you know, where are you from? What are you?
Yeah, Shadow Moon. It's like a Native American slash hippie slash.
It's all over the place, you know. And so finally, my look, you know, worked for a role. So thanks, Mum and Dad, for the crazy mutt that I am. It finally worked.
Crazy mutt.
It finally worked.
Come on.
I'm now perfect for a certain role.
That mug is cashing checks all day, every day. It's a great mug.
Well, I mean, I like to think some of the craft is in there as well, but I mean, I'm not gonna complain that it's working.
I have to start off by asking my main question, which came into my mind as soon as I started watching the show, is have you ever done anything this weird before? This show is bizarre.
This interview?
No, this interview aside, this show is so strange. And the book is weird, but then when you see it on camera, it's almost like, wow, this is even weirder than I remembered.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It really is nuts. And, you know, what Brian Fuller and Michael Green have been able to do, which Neil Gaiman did in the actual book, you know, released in 2001, was throw something in very early on to test the audience, to say, if you can handle this, then you can handle the book. If you can handle this, then you can handle the show. So episode 1 was full of magic and craziness and dynamics and fantastical moments that left your mind blown, like the WTF moments, you know, Bill Quiss and
right. So we're not going to get into too many spoilers outside of what's already aired, but when a man is eaten by a goddess's vagina, you're either in or you're out at that point.
Well, he's in.
He's in.
He's all in, all the way in. Yeah. And it doesn't, unless you tie your feet, your ankles to a chair, you're not coming back. He's living in eternal bliss, and
that's got to be like top 5 ways to die.
I mean, if I'm gonna go, you know, Yetide Badaki is an incredible actress and a stunning woman. She is the queen of Sheba, the goddess of love. She's an incredible talent, and that's definitely a great way to go. I can think of many ways I would not enjoy, but yeah, that's a mind-blowing moment, and it's kind of like a line in the sand that says, "Yo, can you handle this?" And it's something by design that Neil Gaiman did, and then Brian and Michael kind of threw into the first episode as if to say, this is our show, welcome or goodbye.
Yeah, totally. I felt that right off the bat when they were gouging eyes out. I'm like, all right, I'm in, this is for me.
Yeah, that was the opening sequence. That was just a nice little kind of gentle ease you into the moment. We're just going to gouge eyes out.
I can't show this. This isn't going to be one of the shows I watch with my wife.
Really?
I feel like the eye gouging. See, she's out, but I was like all the way in. So this is gonna be the me time show.
I train with a guy down in Venice, Mike Ryan. He's a great trainer. He's training me up for season 2 and just in general. And he was telling me how his mum watched it because she watches anything that I do because she's trying to support me, and she's like, well, Mike, you tell me he's a wonderful actor, but I'm out. It's a little bit scary. The lady of the night was a little bit freaky. I don't really get it, but he's a wonderful actor. Tell him well done from me, and we love him, but I'm not sure I can watch it. And I was like, that's hilarious, you know. So she's gonna TiVo, she's gonna give us the ratings.
Yeah.
But no, she's some bits are a bit too much, and we get it. And that's why, you know, from episode 1, we throw all this kind of stuff at you. And if you can handle that, you're gonna love this season, because it just gets, you know, really crazy. It's an emotional roller coaster of you. But it's grounded too.
Yeah.
It's very grounded. And, you know, we enter this through Shadow's eyes, and it's Shadow's journey, essentially.
I was going to say, yeah, it's grounded through you. There's so much crazy stuff happening. You are basically the rock that's holding this down, which is kind of tough as a character. You're talking about craft. Like, I don't want to say that there's not much to Shadow, but compared to everything else that's going on, he's like this, he's stoic. And stoic can be hard to play.
It's tough being the straight guy, the kind of the vehicle that we have to kind of travel with, because as an actor, you have to take a responsibility to resist stuff in the script where you can really flare and pop and do all these great things. But you know, when we meet Shadow, he's the name is fantastic. You know, yeah. He's a shadow of his former self. He's a shadow of the man that we wanted to become. But
literature.
See what we did there? Neil Gaiman. Genius.
Do you get to talk to Neil about the character?
I'm seeing him tomorrow. He's incredible. Awesome. I've spent so much time with him finding out about the character, that he came from this guy that he met on his travels around America that was just a big dumb guy. You know, they were looking for some firewood. This guy comes back with a tree and is like, chomps it down. He's like, not enough. And it's like, this guy is a moron. But then he
so
got
you're based on a moron.
I'm based on a moron.
You play that with a surprising intelligence.
And, you know, apparently I'm very good at playing morons. But then he just ended up sitting, chatting with this guy, and turned out to be really cultural, really intellectual, and shocked him. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's like, this guy's really woke. This guy's, you know, a really interesting, cultured guy. And they spent the night chatting away, and all of a sudden he was like, you know, don't make assumptions over someone's looks. And, you know, he kind of came up with this character to Shadow. And the name came from, I think he met 2 security people, you know, people who were protecting, you know, the public, called Shadow. He'd never heard the name before in his life.
Sounds like a code name.
Hears it twice within 2 weeks or something like that. And so all of a sudden he's like, it's a sign. It's definitely a sign. So yeah, Shadow's broken. He's lost. He's empty, this empty vessel. And I
see the rage bubble up sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all there, but I've got this responsibility to resist the comedy, to resist, you know, the emotion. Like I didn't even let him cry when he was at the funeral and things, because I want him to be empty right now. You know, he has to earn a personality. He has to earn layers, you know, that emotion. Right now, he doesn't know how to process anything. So we see him go at Mad Sweeney because he's angry and he's got all this rage in him, and he's upset that, you know, he's taken the world on his shoulders. You know, if he wasn't in prison, would his wife still be alive? Possibly. You know, so he's taken all this kind of stuff on his shoulder, and he's processing everything around. And it's, as an actor, you know, I know where I want him to be, so I kind of had to work backwards. And so it's going to be fun for me as the character kind of progresses throughout the season and throughout the series, you know, to come. I can add those layers in, and, you know, he can become more confident, have a lot more fun. But right now, yeah, it's just play this broken shell of a man, who's just got everything kind of happening to him, and he's got kind of framed by these wonderful characters, but it's all about reacting, and when you're reacting against quite possibly the best
I was going to say,
ensemble
speaking of reacting, you're this shell of a man, but the most full man possible. Ian McShane is right next to you.
I literally can't even just stop at him. That first episode, Pablo Schreiber's already been nominated before.
Yeah,
that's the caliber of the actor he is, and he has that one scene. And he's incredible. Yeah. And in the book, he only has 2 scenes.
Right.
Sorry, he has 2 moments in the book, and he's already
the cellmate, right?
No, he's not.
Who's Pablo Schreiber in the?
Pablo Schreiber plays Mad Sweeney.
Oh, Mad Sweeney,
the 6'5" leprechaun.
Excuse me, how can I miss that?
How can you miss a 6'5" leprechaun?
I just assumed that. Sorry, that was bad of me to assume that Pablo was the Irish leprechaun.
No, that's outrageous. No. So in the book, he's only in it twice. But we fleshed it out, and you know, we've got this, you know, fantastic actor who's now going to have a whole storyline fleshed out. And we see in the book, we see where he is in between those appearances in the book. Other characters like Bilquis, you know, again, she's very sporadic in the book, but we have Yetiri Badaki, who's an incredible actress, and now all of a sudden we're going to see more about you know, Bilquis. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to see her backstory and things like that. You know, the show is literally littered with incredible talent. I grew up watching Ian McShane, Cloris Leachman, watching those two go at it with Peter Stormare. It's Martha Kelly's a hilarious actress as well. You know, Orlando Jones literally blew the world apart with his opening speech in episode 2. So the beginning of that. I mean, that doesn't feature in the book. That was Brian Fuller and Michael Green. Yeah. And that is incredible writing, incredibly current and very relevant and so powerful. And that's one of the great things about this show is at the end of the day, it's just a TV show. We're just there to entertain and have fun and hope you guys, you know, enjoy it as much as we did, you know, making it. But it was released in 2001. We wrapped in November before the inauguration and kind of the current heated political climate. Yeah. All of a sudden, we're now the most current, relevant, politically relevant show on TV.
Yeah, because this is, at the end of the day, it's a story of immigrants who take their culture with them into America.
Women's rights, homophobia, you know, gun control, all this stuff just happened to already be in the book in 2001. Yeah. And in our show before November, you know, and then all of a sudden, all this comes out, and now everyone's raving about Orlando's speech, and the episode 3 is going to blow your minds when we've got Musa and Omid, who are again more fantastic actors. Chris, it's literally just did I forget Gillian Anderson? Oh, this is what I'm talking about. I forget how many incredible people. You know, Jonathan Tucker opened up episode 1. It's like
this cast
it just
keeps
coming. It keeps coming, and that's what's incredible is that, you know, Shadow goes on this journey, and he's just bombarded by these incredible gods, incredible people that he's meeting. And for me as an actor, it's almost very relatable because I'm just me, and I'm being bombarded by these incredible talents.
You're just a shadow drifting through this world.
Yeah, just drifting through the acting world.
Among these gods.
Among these gods, you know, Ian McShane, Gillian Anderson, Peter Stormare, you know, these Orlando Jones. These are gods to me. And these are the guys that I grew up watching, and the girls I grew up watching, you know, to not say McFly to Crispin Glover took all my strength. All my strength. But he's so lovely, and he's incredible when you see him.
That's how you know you're a pro.
Oh, to not call Gillian Scully? Yeah. Goodness me. That's so tough. I did call Ian Lovejoy, though. I'm not going to lie. But he's fine. It's okay. We're tight. He's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, you get that trust.
Plus, I know his reach, so when he wants to swing, I can just...
Perfect.
You know, I've got my range. I'm just like... I know I can say stuff and just be out of range. So like, I know it's coming now.
Stick and move.
Yeah, it's like, whatever, Ian. Miss me.
Aside from the amazing people in this movie series,
it's a movie. Yeah, don't worry. It's just 8 movies all in one. You know,
feels like
spaced out.
There are some amazing visuals.
Yeah,
the visuals in this, if you haven't seen them yet, they're incredible. They're so over the top, like your jaw drops. And how much of that did you see for the first time, you know, in the final cut, or how much of that is in the script? Like, there'll be a 2-foot geyser of blood coming out of this guy's head.
That stuff, I think, was clever. It's by design. The Viking stuff at the beginning of episode 1, there was so much blood, like buckets and buckets and buckets of blood, to the point where it almost desensitizes you, and it takes away that ooh factor. All of a sudden, it becomes more artistic. It's quite beautiful the way it flows, you know, and it's almost like watching art now. It's kind of musical and
yeah, the whole thing feels like someone's telling you the story like it's mythology, like they would say, and then, you know, he kicked his head off and 7 spurts of blood.
Yeah, it's beautiful because I'm squeamish myself, and you know, I'll watch, you know, TV shows or operations and things like that, and I'm just like, oh, that's nasty. I see my own blood, I'll faint. But when I'm watching this, it's kind of like, wow, it's kind of got an awe factor because of the way it's shot. You know, David Slade in the first couple of episodes was fantastic at kind of, you know, trying to get that kind of tone. Him and Brian Fuller worked together in Hannibal, which is
also a little bloody,
full of blood. Yeah. And you can kind of see those tones throughout our show now.
Are there any set pieces you're super excited for people to see without giving too much away?
Oh my goodness, there's so much. I mean, my favorite part of the show is sometimes just Shadow and Wednesday just chatting in the car.
Sure.
You know, because that was real. I was just driving, or he was just driving, and then we had cameras. It was 115 degrees. I'm in a tight leather jacket. He's in a 3-piece suit and a cashmere coat, and we're in a Cadillac with no AC. The windows up, a cameraman in the back, two assistants, and we're just sweating our off. It was insane, but it looks great, and the chemistry that myself and Ian have off camera has translated well on camera. So that's some of my favorite stuff.
Yeah, without those character moments and like the great back and forth,
that's where it's grounded.
Then you getting beat up by 2 like thumb guys in spandex.
There was 7. I mean, there was 7. I'm just saying, if there was just 2, I probably would have held my own. I mean, I'd been lifting. I don't know what you saw. I was kind of yoked. But no, it's that, and it's those moments that keep this show grounded. So the great thing is that even if you're not into fantasy or sci-fi or craziness, the show's so grounded because essentially it's a buddy road story between Shadow and Mr. Wednesday, and you kind of see that dynamic grow. And it's a love story between Shadow and Laura, you know, his wife that he lost right at the beginning of the show. You know, he's ruled by his heart.
Spoiler alert, the love story may continue.
The story may continue. I mean, he's dreaming about her a lot, you know, and that's definitely going to progress. But that's what keeps it grounded. And all of a sudden you've got these beautiful moments where one of my favorite moments in the show coming up, and it's not really a spoiler because it's like saying, you know, don't watch Titanic, it sinks in the end.
What?
Right? But you know, everyone knows that Laura is going to come back in one form or another. And the conversation that Shadow has with Laura after finding out she died sucking his best friend's
COCK
bits, they're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Dead or alive, you want to know what happened.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you've got this beautiful scene where these two are just going at it, like having an argument, like what happened and blah, blah, blah. Why'd you do this to me? I was in prison, blah, blah, blah. And you forget that one of them's dead. You know, you're just watching a moment, and it's really beautifully shot. And it's those grounding moments that keeps this show so relatable to everyone out there watching it. It's extraordinary people in ordinary circumstances. You know, these gods, they're not crushing cities, throwing thunderbolts. They're struggling in life. You know, they've lost all that faith, all that power, and now they're living normal lives. And it's great to see that kind of dynamic. It's kind of unusual because it's normally always the other way around.
Yeah. And that's true of American mythology in general, is you have these stories, and religion. You have these big stories of gods and these struggles between titans, but it's really about things that we can all relate to: pride, loss, love. Yeah,
because everyone, I mean, essentially, Mr. Wednesday's building an army of old gods to fight the army of new gods because he wants to be remembered again. Everyone's kind of forgotten about these old biblical, mythical gods, and the new deities that we now worship in technology and media, you know, fame, celebrity, money, all these things that we're so obsessed with now are kind of growing and taking over the world.
Which gods do you think you worship the most?
Without doubt, media. Not just because it's Gillian Anderson. She's beautiful and talented and wonderful in every way. But no, it's you know, nowadays we're so focused on the palm of our hand. You know, we've all got these smartphones.
Yeah.
And if I took your smartphone away from you, you'd lose your mind because your contacts, your pictures, your emails, you know.
That was the most like transgressive, shocking moment of American Gods, is when he threw your phone out the window. That was like, how dare he?
Right?
That was the most shocking moment, honestly, on a gut level.
Do you know how many minutes were on that phone? Do you know how much credit I had on that phone? Goodness me, man. That's my data plan out the window. But yeah, we're obsessed with technology now. You know, it's a shame, and the world is evolving, and yes, we should embrace that. But how many times do you turn up to your friend's place and instead of just going up knocking on the door, you'll text them, go, "I'm here." They would
say, "Who's dead? Like, why are you here? Are you in trouble?"
Literally, I'm like. Knock. Yeah. Come in. Don't text me that you're outside. Just come in. Good. You know,
you're like a polite British person.
Yeah, you just miss
Americans,
that.
We have our guns behind the window. We're like, stranger danger.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If you knock, you could get a surprise. Yeah. So maybe just texting, go, "I'm coming towards you. I'm the tall black guy. My hood is down." Just saying. Too soon? Too controversial? Well, I'm just saying. These are conversations we're going to be having now because of Orlando Jones and American Gods.
Still happening. Yeah, written in 2001. Sadly relevant today.
Well, if you think in 2001, the smartphone wasn't even invented yet. which is incredible foresight by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
You know, all this kind of evolution of technology and media and celebrity was not even around when he was writing this.
Yeah.
So it's incredible that it's probably more current now than it ever was.
Do you think the show would be different if it were British gods?
If it were British gods, I think there's British gods in there.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I mean, Ian McShane's a British god. Yeah, he's fantastic.
It'd be like James Bond, Harry Potter.
What would the British gods... Harry. Expecto Patronum.
The royal family.
Just killing it. I don't know. I mean... At the end of the day, we touch upon a lot of different gods. And
you're right,
and
because it isn't American gods. They're every other culture that
exactly, because at the end of the day, it's the reason it was done in America is because of the huge immigration kind of policy to move to no one really moves east until they want to retire and relax. But everyone kind of comes to America. It's this beautiful, incredible country. I moved here. I'm an immigrant. Unless you're Native American, we are all immigrants. The president, his many wives, they're all immigrants. We're all immigrants in this country. But we all came and we all brought our cultures and our traditions and all our flavors. And it's made this melting pot that is America. And that's what's incredible about this country is it's a little bit of everything. And it's now a beautiful place. But we all brought our gods as well. And so there are going to be worldly gods in there. You know, next week we have the Salim and the Jinn. You know, these are Muslims who are going to be in the show. We've got Mad Sweeney's Irish. You know, so we you know, Jesus Christ is gonna
oh, we got a little Jesus cameo.
There's gonna be a little Jesus.
Okay.
In fact, one of my favorite scenes in the whole season is going to be next week, this Sunday coming up, between Shadow and Mr. Wednesday, where they're talking about the various forms of Jesus, because obviously, you know, Jesus doesn't just have one form. Like when I was in Jamaica, I went to visit some family in Jamaica one Christmas, and Santa Claus turned up. He turned up in a jet ski. Yeah. Santa was on a jet ski, and he was black, and I didn't even think about it. I was like, of course he is.
Yeah.
Why? You know, why would a big fat white dude be coming down a chimney in Jamaica? You know, Santa is going to be black there. You know, and all around the world, maybe Santa's different. You know, you've got a Mexican Santa, you've got an Australian Santa, African Santa, Irish Santa, you know, and it's the same with Jesus. And it's a hilarious conversation, but Mr. Wednesday's actually real, like talking like, you know, I actually do know Jesus. And Shadow's just like, okay, dude, you're crazy. And he's just going along with it. But it's one of my favorite scenes because it's just so normal. And they're just having a conversation. So there's a lot coming up. And then more of my favorite moments with Mad Sweeney. Yeah. His comedy timing, Pablo Schreiber, oh my goodness, he is genius. And he's one of my favorite characters on this show.
Speaking of coming up, a lot of male nudity on this show.
I mean, it's equal rights.
Yeah, right?
It's 2017. I think it's about time the ladies got some...
Free the dong.
Got some dong. You know, they got some dong. They're not all real dongs. There's a few digital dongs in there.
Oh, digidong.
Digidongs. There's digidongs. Oh, there'll be some songs out there for the next couple of years. Remixes of digidongs. But yeah, there's a lot of digidongs out there, you know. But it's not gratuitous. It's just fun. It's just all real, and it's equal rights. You know, Brian Fuller, Michael Green, they're very much like, you know, we've got naked women. Let's have some naked guys in there. Let's throw a little something out there for the ladies and for the guys. You know, let's keep it equal.
And now I'm thinking of a particular scene in the book, but do you reveal yourself fully?
Do I reveal myself?
I'm just trying to give the ladies something to stay tuned for.
I'm not going to lie. There were contracts signed regarding nudity and the potential for Shadow to perhaps reveal why he's called Shadow.
Right.
How you doing?
There might be yeah, there's a certain tree scene. So
there are scenes, and there is nudity, and Shadow will eventually be
hanging out.
For people who don't know, like, he's so on point. It's hilarious. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Shadow's gonna be hanging around later on in the show.
Well, I'm super hyped for the rest of it. I hope our audience is. But
now they're gonna be, because Shadow's gonna be naked soon. So it's
I'm trying to get people on start. So let's close out with, where can our fans see this show legally? What's the best way for them to watch it?
Check it out on Stars every Sunday at 9 Eastern, 9 Pacific. And you can also download the Stars app, and you can actually get it before. So it's available from Sunday. You know, people are watching it in the mornings, in the afternoons, and then watching it late at night as well when we're all live tweeting along with the show. So check out the Stars app or check out the Stars channel. See you every Sunday.
Guys. Get the Stars app, hang back with us at Screen Junkies News, and give Ricky Whittle a shout out because he is the man. And American Gods is awesome. Seriously, guys, watch this show. Thank you so much for coming, dude. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Peace.
Thanks.
Click here for more awesome Screen Junkies news and click the logo to subscribe.